Hey guys, I remain Ambassador Cannon Otto, and you're watching the Rose Little Marker Show put together by Bolanle Media. Keep it locked down there.
Welcome to America.
Thank you very much. I'm live in the city of Houston, Texas, United States of America. Houston is beautiful. It's different. I came in from Dallas yesterday. I went from LA, California to Dallas, and then from Dallas to Houston. All of those cities have a different vibe. Houston feels homely. It feels like home. Diverse. You see a lot of people, the weather is beautiful. It's not cold, it's not hot, it's just okay. And that's what we're used to in Africa, in London. And so I feel like home. I feel like I'm at home. And secondly, you, Rosaline, and Todd, you welcomed me very well. Yesterday we had what was it called? This rice with this designers, a lot of meats.
Yeah.
We had beef, we had lamb, we had what else was there?
It was so good. It's just all the stew, Nigerian food, and you ate a lot of it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
For people that are not familiar with you, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, who you are? Because I will say, I'm honored that you're even sitting here on this couch. This has been a long time coming, and we have been friends for, goodness, since the pandemic. That's
way before the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The pandemic was when we started putting a lot of plans into shape, into putting a structure to plans, but it was way before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Before I even got kidnapped. And the reason I even got kidnapped was because we've always been very passionate about bringing positive change to society. So remember, like we discussed the other day, I told you, all of my interest in social change, community development, nation building started from way, way long ago, but I didn't even understand how to go about it. Even right now, we are not 100% certain on how to go about it, but the desire is what matters. The will is what matters. The conviction, the decision is what matters. And we've got all of that. So every little chance, opportunity we find, we shoot, we change. It was on a good day. My dad came to get us from school, like he usually did. And I've always been an inquisitive child. On that day, I realized the overhead bridge was on a certain part of the road that wasn't so congested. It was a bit quiet. And when you look further down, there was a big junction over there. And you see a lot of people running across the motorway, across the express. And I look at that. Why is the overhead bridge, the footbridge, not at that point where a lot of people need it? And he paused for a bit. I'm not sure he knew what to respond. But he then told me that most of the people that make these decisions in government are not as smart as you are for pointing that out, that I should quickly grow up and come and fix problems in our society. And I wondered, how would I do that? I just kept living with that thought. How will I fix problems in our society? Until I really did grow up and I realized it. And then back to the kidnap story. Yeah, the story I've not really shared, on a public space like this. But it's a very lengthy, a very detailed one. I'll say I won a reality TV show and I became famous at a very young age. Then I just launched my environment company, my environment advocacy programs. We were having tree planting festivals. We were having a lot of events on the environment, and a lot of young people were interested in it. And just about then, I decided to go into politics. And boom, voila, I got kidnapped. I've still not been able to wrap my head around why.
Do you remember those first moments when that happened to you? What happened that day or that moment when you got kidnapped? Was it people that you knew?
Well, I don't know. They were all masked. They all had their faces closed with different kind of things. And I was driving from Lagos to Port Harcourt, but I was approaching Port Harcourt. I was close to Port Harcourt. And I just started, I was playing good music. It was a very nice drive. This was at about, say, 6, 7 in the evening. The beautiful golden sun was just descending beneath the evening cloud. And I started hearing things. I'm like, vehicles. Like, you know, when you throw stones on cars. I wondered, could it be the music I'm playing? Before I could even think of turning down the music to listen properly, poof, the bullet passed through my screen. Hell no, what's going on? We've heard stories of all of these kind of things happen. Are they armed robbers? Are they kidnappers? I just had to put my head under my steering wheel so the bullet won't blast my skull. And then I don't know what happened again. Because now I couldn't see where I was driving to and I was on speed. I just know I heard bang. I think the car hits the median, the middle, the divide of the road. Bang. And then I felt the car swing again. And I went into the bush. Boom! I'm sure I must have hit something that made me stop. I raised my head. I realized I had stopped. I just wanted to think of running. Oof! Someone bust my side windscreen. They were already around me. You want to escape? You want to run? I said, no, I'm not running. I surrender. I give up. And then they dragged me out. They started beating me. I was in shock. Confused. What's going on? Who are these people? And they dragged me. They packed everything from my car and into the bush. They took my suitcases. They even gave me one of the big bags because along the Nigerian expressway, there's a lot of food stuff. So whenever I travel, I buy food stuff for my mom, my sister. I bought a bag of gari. I bought fishes. So the bag of gari was very big. They gave it to me to carry, put it on my head. And the rest is history. I was there for 8 days. Every single day, there's a lot of story to tell.
Did you learn anything from that experience, and how were you able to escape?
Experience. I'll say I learned that God answers prayers. How would I have escaped? I wouldn't have been able to escape because on that good day when we're going into the bush, we kept going and going, and there were 2 men holding guns looking after them. I don't know who they were, but I think they were all together with these people that kidnapped me. And they say they should get up and now we should go. So as we approached them, they got up and we continued the journey. We were going through a nearly untraceable pathway, just through the bush. But how these guys knew where we were going, I don't know. They were all blindfolded. I could see everything clearly, but they were blindfolded, so I couldn't recognize them. The 2 people that were sat on the floor, one was a man, one was a woman. So the man was in front of me, the woman was behind me. Then those 2 men that were looking after them were in front of all of us, leading. So we're just going like a snake, long queue. At that point, I was thinking, kings and big chiefs die, and they need to cut people's heads for the funeral. I don't know if that's true, but we've heard those stories. I was thinking, could that be what's going on? But I tried to ask them, please, what's going on? They will slap me. Please help, I can be your brother. They will flog me with a gun. You see, there's no coming back from this. So at that point, I was hell bent on running. We've heard stories of when people are kidnapped and they escape. We've heard people give testimonies in church. They were kidnapped and they ran away and they came out from one old woman's kitchen in the village. And the old woman helped hide them and helped, get them to. We've heard stories. I was thinking, can I do that? Meditated upon it. All of this was happening real fast in my head. Within 10, 15 minutes, and I was ready to run. I told myself, I will drop this bag on my head and I will move. So I counted in my mind 3, 2, 1, and the man in front of me ran. I don't know how.
What do you mean he ran?
I think that man died in place of me. Do you know? The man in front of me ran. It looked like I was dreaming. Everything looked like a dream. The man moved. No, he wasn't my captor. He was he was also, I don't know if he was kidnapped. I don't know who he was, but he was seated on the floor, on the ground. He looked like a victim. Remember I told you there was a man and a woman that 2 guys were pointing guns at them. And then when we came, they all joined us. The man was in front of me, the woman was behind me. I've still not been able to wrap my head around a lot of events that played out that period. Because a lot of things look like a dreamland. The man ran. So everything that happened that period was so traumatizing. And then they dragged this man, dragged him by his leg. While we were coming in, we passed one very big pit, like a gully. So we walked by the side of the gully. It was raining all through all of this event, all through when this was happening. It started drizzling.
Rainy season.
Yes. So before this happened, we had to walk like 1 hour into the bush. Before this happened, it was kind of dusky, setting sun, golden sun, but then all of a sudden it started drizzling, and we had walked some distance. The total time of the walk, I'll say, would be about 5 hours. But I think at this point it was, so let's say, into an hour, 2 hours. So it started drizzling, and then they dragged this man and dragged him and threw inside that pit. Point, I decided there's no escape. Whatever happens wherever they're taking me to happens. I can't escape. I think that man died in my place.
Wow.
So thinking about escaping, it was never going to be a point where I would escape. But what I learned from the whole experience was that God answers prayers. And that's another story. I have a lot of stories. I'm a storyteller. There was a point in my life growing up. There was a church close to my family house in Port Harcourt. And the pastor was a friend to my mom and my grandma. And she would come into the house, and he got to know all of us. Oh, my friend, how are you doing? They call me Chiminim at home. That's my native name. Chiminim, how are you doing? Chiminim, you should come to church. And I never took it serious. So sometimes when he's driving past, because the church was just close to the house, like I'll say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plots after my family compound. Whenever he's driving past, if he sees me, he'll remind me, Chiminim, you don't want to come to church? You should come to church. And I'll say, okay, I'll come. So on this good day, my cousin had just come to visit me and left. And he was driving. So as I was walking my cousin to the gate, my cousin's house was just opposite my house. So I walked him to the gate, so he would just go into the house. And this pastor was driving by. And he sees me, and he's like, chilling him, you don't want to come to church? He now parked his car and came down. And I was going, why is this pastor coming down? If he got such to tell you that he wants to use you, but you keep running away. Stop running. Make yourself available. Be a vessel. I took it like it's a regular pastor stock. Fast forward to sometime in, let's say 5 years later, I was going to a different church, Salvation Ministry. And then I made friends with this pastor. He wanted me to join one of the church groups, church groups. That group is a group that when newcomers come, you guys follow up with them. They needed a certain kind of people, tall, good looking, to be able to, let the newcomers know that they give a certain kind of perspective, perception to the newcomers. They wanted me to join their group. But I just wanted to go to church and go home. So on this day, after church, I saw the pastor. I said, oh, pastor, how are you? Good afternoon. We shook hands. Well, he just shook my hand and then he started talking to someone. He didn't leave my hand. I was just there. He was chatting with someone and tried to move by. He held my hand. So after, say about 3, 4, 5 minutes, he then moved the hand to the other hand. I say, Canon, God wants to use you to propagate his words, but you keep running away. Make yourself available for God. It rang a bell because I've heard that before. So the conversation around that is a story for another day. But when I was kidnapped, I said, God, I'm ready. However you want to use me. I know pastors have told me, you want to use me? And I will make myself very available. However you want to use. So God saved me. He escaped. We paid ransom. I got released. I think at some point the boys just got to like me. They'll say, Canon, no be person like you will they kill. Which means Canon is not someone like you that will kill. They just started liking me. They just started liking. They just asked me questions the way I answered the question. They just ask, before you're getting into some conversation, I'm telling them interesting things, and they were just liking me.
Conversations, what they possibly ask you when they're your kidnappers,
So one of them on one day asked me, on the day they kidnapped me, where was I coming from? I told him I was coming from Lagos. One other one else asked, Lagos and Port Harcourt, which is better? Because all along, they were calling me Govi. Govi means government. So they felt, like I told you, I wanted to run for a political office. So I think that was the reason. So they were calling me Govi. So they were saying I'm one of those government officials eating the money for the people. I denied all of that. But I tried to make them understand that I'm very much for the people. If I'm in politics, I would be very much 101% for the people. I don't care about taking government funds. Seeing my state and my community and my nation blossom is the fulfillment I will get, not money. That's what I think about. We've been friends forever, and that's all we talk about. And I tried to explain this to the guys, and I don't know whether they were buying it or not, but they were slow with. Anyway, so on this day, I told him I was coming from Lagos. Another one then asked, Lagos and Port Harcourt, which is better? I told him Lagos, that Port Harcourt can be better, but our politicians don't think very much about making Port Harcourt the haven of Nigeria. But those are the kind of things I'm concerned about. I seize every opportunity to make them understand that I care about the nation. So at that point, one of them responded to that one that asked the question. They told him, I've always told you that Lagos is better than Port Harcourt. So I think it's like the conversation they usually have. They don't know Lagos. They're just bushmen.
You're educating them.
Yeah. So in all of those kind of conversations, they were beginning to maybe find me interesting.
Minds.
Yes. And a lot of other kind of conversations. So every time they come around, they'll just call me, Chiminin, any gist for us? I'm sure other people there will be wondering, why are they so particular about this guy? But you know what? That was God. That was God answering my prayers. Within the time I was there, they killed 2 other people. Apart from the first guy they killed, that tried to run away, they killed 2 other people. At that point, I cried. Okay, when we got to their base, they call it barrack. Then they blindfolded me. So the whole time I was there, I was blindfolded. Yeah. At this point, they took off their mask. Now I was blindfolded. So I still never saw them. Say if I saw their faces, I'll be dead. So I never tried to look at their faces. So even though I was blindfolded, I knew what was going on. I heard all the conversations. I could even recognize voices through their faces. I was there for 8 days. If I'm blindfolded and I hear your voice, I know it's Rosie. Never say never. Right now, all of those events added to why I got scared of Nigeria and left. Yeah, all of those events added. When I left for UK, my plan was I would come back immediately I'm done with my master's. But all of these events, thinking about all of those things. In fact, when I was done with my master's, all of the stories around my kidnapper, stories I would talk about later, but it's a lot, like I told you. Different things happened on different days. I was there for 8 days. All of what I've explained is just the first day. When I was done with my master's, I visited Nigeria. I came back. But you won't believe what happened. I had an apartment in Port Harcourt, in Gulf Estate. I used to use for Airbnb my apartment because I was away. The day I came back, the first night I came back after being away for so long, woke up with banging noise everywhere and a big blow on my face. With big guns. They said they were EFCC. EFCC is the Economic and Financial Crime Commission. What the hell are you doing in my house? Are you armed robbers? How did you get in from the estate gate? How did you get into my door? They matched the door open. And they had guns on my. Later, they got to apologize. Apology doesn't heal that kind of trauma. This is EFCC Port Harcourt Division. They broke into my house. So it just made me wonder. The other time I was kidnapped, and I've been scared to come back. I've been traumatized from all of what I experienced and encountered. And the very first day I come back, you guys, you're not kidnappers. You say you're not armed robbers, but how do you break into my house with big, heavy bodied men and guns? It just made me, worried. I wouldn't say it made me flee. I didn't flee. I go to Nigeria like 7 times in the year. But it made me see the problems, the impending problems from a very glary lens. It's not just about who does it. It's the fact that everybody does it. Everybody does it. And it's good people know these things. Yeah. So when I talk about these stories, I'm not talking about it to put Nigeria down. I'm talking about it because people need to know that these things happen. So we can fish out the bad people, the badness in it.
The West with the moves that they're trying to make within Nigeria, because right now, also thanks to influencers, at least bringing attention to the issue like Nicki Minaj.
Oh.
When you think about what's going on over there within Christians and just the violence.
If you listen closely to my tone right now, I'm very concerned about all of that. And like I said, when I talk about this incident, I don't talk about it to put Nigeria down. I talk about it from the perspective of a concerned citizen. I talk about it from the perspective that things need to change, from the perspective that people that are bad need to be punished. There need to be punitive measures.
It's okay to say that because just like America, there's amazing things about America. There are amazing things about Nigeria.
They were.
There are intelligent, smart, brilliant leaders of the world that are there. However, you have some bad apples that are trying to ruin it.
There's a lot of them. And if the bad people in Nigeria are being sponsored to do bad, so we're talking about the militants, we're talking about the kidnappers, we're talking about the insurgency perpetrators. I think we also need some external support to curb all of that, to mitigate it, to nip it in the bud. We need that kind of support. A lot of people say, "Oh no, the Americans are coming to take our natural resource." And I ask people, the natural resource, have you had any? Oh, so they want to take our oil. Have you tasted the oil? You're in the country, but you've not felt the dividends of ownership of this natural resource. It's taking away the people, the points.
I know. It looks like you're going to cry, and it's emotional.
It bothers me.
It is.
It bothers me. And that is all of this together that made us, start the Global Sustainability Summit.
Let's talk about it.
Not just for Nigeria, but for the world.
Mm.
Because sustainability basically is about solving today's problems without creating more for the future. Without the solutions you're using to solve today's problem, creating more problem for tomorrow. So there's a problem here. We want to fix the problem. We're using solution A to fix the problem. What is solution A a good solution? Is that solution causing more problem? That's what sustainability is about. For instance, we have light, energy, power. How do we get the power? The power is solving the need of today. So how do we get the power? You have an idea? From the grid. But where do we get the energy that supplies to the grid? It could be from coal. It could be from
wind,
oil and gas, like Donald Trump would say, drill, baby. It could be from oil and gas. But if it's coal, if it's oil and gas, it's solving the problem. We need power, but it's creating more problem for the future because the carbon emission, when this carbon is emitted, it adds to the quantity of gas in the atmosphere. Right now in the atmosphere is not empty. There's air all over the place, occupying the space. We're breathing in oxygen. There's oxygen. There's no vacant space. It's always occupied. So if carbon is emitted, carbon occupies the space. And like we learned in elementary science, medium of heat transfer. True solid is conduction. True liquid, convection. True airspace, gas, radiation. So when we have more carbon gas in the atmosphere, the heat from the sun is absorbed by the gas. So we have carbon, we have water vapor, we have methane. The heat from the sun is absorbed in the gas. So there's heat all over the atmosphere. That's global warming. So that energy source, oil and gas or coal, is adding to global warming. And the effect and the impact of global warming is a story for another day. But if the source of the light, the power, is wind, we don't have that much side effect. If it's solar, we don't have that much side effects. And that's what sustainability is about.
And how are you making a difference within the UK? Well, honestly, on a global level, because you're based in the UK. However, you're all over the place. You're in America now. You're in Africa. You're in Europe. You're expanding. And I feel like you may tell me even Asia tomorrow. You never know.
Yeah. So yeah, we started the summit to bring global leaders together. Because
this was told is in a very special place.
Yes, you're very correct. I'll tell you. We thought about the fact that leaders from all nations, from all walks of life need to come together. And someone asked me, why leaders? It's because they're the most influential. We need those that can influence policies from government. Those that can influence rules and regulations from corporations, from organizations. Because when they decide to embrace the sustainability agenda, their followers will follow. And that's why we focus on leaders. And we've been having them. Last year, we had leaders from 34 countries all over the world.
That have participated in some of your events for those that want to join or they want to come along? Because we will share information for this that want to
I,
participate.
I'll say we've had leaders from government, we've had governors, we've had former presidents, we've had members of parliament, MPs, we've had leaders from corporations, MD, executive directors, from institutions, from civil society groups, you know, a lot of them.
And I'm so proud.
And we chose to you know where this event holds? In the House of Lords, Palace of Westminster, the British Parliament, one of the most revered spaces in the world. Because that's where rules are made. That's where laws are enacted. So whenever they come for the event, there's always a pledge. We all pledge together.
Beautiful. And what are you most excited about this year in 2026?
I'll say is the next edition of the summit. We've had good support from several groups, but the bulk of what we need to put the summit together, we fund it through our medical and healthcare company. So we also run ambulances, medical logistics, diagnosis in London. And this is not just for London. So the ambulancing is just for London. So now we look at spreading across several other destinations, locations, but the medical logistics is global. The diagnostics is global. So we have staff members every other week traveling around the world.
What are some of the things that people love about what y'all do? So that way, anyone that's watching, when you think about the solutions that you're bringing and the way that you're making an impact to your ministry, I would like to say, how would you describe that for whoever is interested in wanting to work with you?
Bulk of what we do for the medical logistics is centered around medical cells and embryos and egg cells and IVF materials. It wasn't just limited to those. There's a lot of other things, organs, stem cells. 85% of what we've been called to do have been around IVF materials. There are people that would probably want a surrogate mother in some part of the world. There are people that will probably want a different kind of, for instance, someone in America might need a British man's stem cell for the IVF session. Someone might have an embryo in America, but they want somewhere that's cheaper for surrogacy.
Well, so they do that to save money for costs? That's actually interesting. And that's why you're expanding so quickly, is because people across borders are saving money on the cost of the rising cost of surrogacy.
100%. You can say that again. So surrogacy is really expensive.
What would you say the average cost is for those that are watching?
The average cost in a place like America would be, say, 100,000. Similar with that of UK and Europe. But there are places like Nigeria. Nigeria, you get good service, equal service for most of the doctors and gynecologists and biologists that perform all of those jobs. They're Nigerians. Even in Europe and UK. So a lot of people now have faith. You need certain quality checks, and then we pick it up with special medical gadgets. It needs to be in a certain kind of gadget that keeps it preserved. Because if it's not preserved, it goes bad. And if it goes bad, the whole cycle fails. So we need to pick it up at that. It needs to be at about minus 197 degrees, if you know what that means. The same point is 0 degrees. And then go to minus 1, minus 2, minus 10, minus 50, minus 100, minus 197.
And I would say that obviously you're growing, so people have had success and they're having babies and their families are expanding. Who do you serve?
So we serve everyone that is going through an IVF cycle. It could be the men, it could be the women. There are men that don't want wives, they just want to have their baby.
Interesting.
So they go to a fertility clinic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they go to a fertility clinic and they produce their sperm cells. And now they need an egg cell. So they could buy that from an egg bank. They might have specification. They want their wife like this. They want her mental health like this.
I'm sorry, are they building a person?
That's what it's about.
What's happening?
It's not about building a person. So there are some countries that permits you to select the genders. There are some countries that don't permit that, but all of that is also doable. Those that donate the egg cells, they have the different ratings for them.
Ratings?
Yes, like descriptions. This might be a 5'4" woman or a 5'9". She might have a master's. This other one might have a PhD. So the details are all there. And the more quality the individual, the donor is, the more expensive the cells are. So when the cells are gotten, same with the man, same with the woman. When the cells are gotten, the lab team, the embryology team crosses it, and the former an embryo. But this embryo has to be planted into a surrogate. And now they begin to look for the surrogate. Where will it be? Where will it be most affordable? Because you need to, all of that for a certain period of time, 9 months. And most people want Nigeria. And
People want a Nigerian?
most people want the surrogates to be in Nigeria because Nigeria is quite affordable. For those that want to learn more about this, they just have to contact us on Cryo Medical Logistics. Yeah, Cryo Medical Logistics. They are the best in the world because they are the only ones that ensure safe delivery of these. For a lot of other people that do this, they always have complications. They always have issues. In fact, we've had several cases, several people that have tried to do this with someone else and probably wasn't successful, and then they run back to us. And they let us know, we tried this, it didn't go through because of this reason or that reason. Promise us it will go through. And we let them know we've had 100% success rate.
Wow, I need a high five on them.
Not just, if there was anything more than 100%.
Happy families.
Yeah.
Happy families, definitely. And I look forward, I want to speak with them. I know they're going to be super happy. And I know people need to see that because there are people that want to have children. Despite what's going on in the world right now, people still there's still positive things in the world, and you are helping assist with that. And I'm so happy you're here. This was a really good talk.
Bolanle is partnering with the Global Sustainability Summit this year.
Something that I'm really excited about is Summit. And so why did you choose Bolanle to partner with you?
So we've had a lot of people want to partner with us for the Global Sustainability Summit. And what we're very selective. We're very deliberate in being selective because we don't want people that just want to be on this for business. We want people that want to be on this because they care about the cause. There's a cause we're chasing, we're pursuing, If anything in the world right now is not sustainable, it's not good. And like I told you, like I explained, sustainability is about ensuring that whatever we do today doesn't cause more problem for the future. Whatever it is, it could be the notebook we used to write. It has sheets of papers. Where do we get that paper from? From trees. But the paper is good. We're using it to print from our printers. We're writing with a pen and ink, but we're cutting down trees. So it's not sustainable. So when you look around, it could be anything. Anything that causes more problem, through the process of manufacture or production or usage. So far as it causes some problem that leaves some footprint problem for tomorrow. It's not sustainable. And I noticed that the Rosalind Omaka, who I've always known forever, who runs Bolanle, is someone that cares about these things. So want someone who cares about the cause, because you would, propagate the message, the gospel, from a place of passion, concern, dedication, and committedness. And that's all which is the Rosalind Omaka show. It's who you are. I'm not trying to say it because I'm trying to make you feel good. It's who you are, and I like that, and I'm proud of you. Yeah.
Same. And I'm really happy to work with you. And I believe that with us working together and other people that have a similar mission and vision, I believe that we can do great things for Africa.
Africa and the world.
And the world.
Because, one of the things I like about the development space is the Sustainable Development Goals. It was put together by the United Nations. You know how they put it together? They invited all the world leaders, put forward all their problems. And you know what? all the problems that all the nations and all the states and all the communities and cities are facing, they're the same. Yes. Everybody needs good roads, power, good food. We need to, get done with poverty and hunger. Everybody needs good job, good housing, good infrastructure, good education, good environment. When they put together all the problems, they're the same. They're all the same human race dealing with the same chaos, challenge, problems. That means the solutions will be the same. And then they put together a global working formula, working structure, working plan. They called it the Sustainable Development Goals. That's exactly what the summit is about. That's what summit is about, 100%. It's about bringing everybody who's doing one good work in one space or the other. And that's why I told you it's not just about Africa.
Yes.
Because
I
it's
love
about
saying
the world.
Africa because of our base,
I
but
know.
it's true everything that we are doing is global because, it's not just going to be limited. It's going to always start at home, but we are going to expand.
But you know why I'm more concerned about the world is because if one part of the world is not good, it would affect the other part. There needs to be an equilibrium, a balance. Because take, for instance, America might be doing good today. They were not always doing good. There was a time America was in chaos and the Great Britain ruled over them. But now America is doing good. Yeah? No good per se because they're the world power.
Yes.
Just get the point I'm making, yeah? And because there's not that equilibrium in the world is tilting, and a lot of people are falling into America because it's not equilibrium. Yeah, that's why there's immigration. Because those places that are not good, they would come to where it's good. If you watch Animal Planet and Nat Geo Wild, you understand what immigration is about. It's a natural phenomenon for living things. People would always chase greener pastures. But if this so you cannot say the Sustainable Development Goals has worked for America, it has worked for Germany, it has worked for, say, Sweden or Denmark or England or wherever, and the rest of the world can solve their problems. No. The rest of the world would come to you. So to make this work, we all have to be ready to help everybody. Everybody help everybody. Because the problem is a global problem. If it's not solved in one place, it's not solved. It's a human race. It was formed because we all came together as a human race to solve the problem for everybody. So if it's solved in some places, it's not in some places, it's not solved. And that's why we have this imbalance in the world. Some people are saying, no, you can't come into our space. Yes, they can. Because help them solve theirs. That's why we're all together in it. One fight, one cause, one people.
When are you ready for office?
One thing I've come to believe is that God's time is the best. A lot of things we want to do. There are things we want to do, and we try and it doesn't work. There are things we don't want to do, and we just say it come to us naturally, effortlessly. And you know why it comes to us like that? Because it's God's plan. So this is, I try not to force certain things. I just leave it as it's God's plan. But you should run for something. You should run for something in maybe the Senate. You can. You have that power. You have that voice. Not a lot of women, generally. I'm not even talking about women of color. I'm talking about women have the kind of voice you do. You have that aura and personality that penetrates. Yesterday when we were having dinner, we talked a lot about certain policies that don't sit right. And I told you, the people that make those policies are not smarter than you. If you step out and say you want to run for Senate, I don't see any reason why. You... Yeah. Yeah, the time will come, and that will be God's plan.
I just know that things need to change, and the local level is important. I would have never imagined running for office. I have friends in office.
I think you should. I've always told you from years ago. And don't go for the council level. Go straight to Senate. Make your voice heard from enacting laws and policies. Thank you too. And we'll do it more.
Absolutely.
When you come to London and when we meet in Africa, Nigeria.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. And definitely, is there any advice that you would like to say to anyone that's watching you right now? What do you have to say?
To everyone watching, I'd say we all have to realize that our voice matters. We all can make an input, a difference, an impact, add value at whatever level we find ourselves, you know? Like my dad used to say, bad things happen when good people do nothing about it. Or evil tries or continues to happen when good people keep silent. And one thing I've come to understand and I've come to, resolution on is the fact that the world will never be all bad or all good. It's a constant struggle between good and evil. And that's yin yang. There will never be a point where one part will win. But if you say, because you see one bad and two bad and three bad, then you give up. You give up. But to keep the fight alive, you have to do your bit. Keep keeping up. Keep keeping up to make the world a good place, to make the world a better place. Don't just maybe to be invaded by badness. So no matter how small your voice or your impact or your influence is, put it out there. It adds. Because as an individual, I'm a drop. When we come together, we become an ocean. So if one or two or three or four or 1,000 or 2,000 people put in that little impact, when we come together, drop, we form an ocean. If your influence and impact is like, would cause a ripple. You know what a ripple is? Tap, it's a little ripple in water. When we put all our impact together, it will form a wave. Make people believe that they can be anything they want to be, but a good version. Because there's a bad version of being things too. Make people believe that they can be in it. Because that's what I do on a daily basis. I speak to a lot of people. I consult for SME startups. I have a lot of people that want to start businesses, and because I do businesses, successful businesses, people talk to me every other day. I have loads of messages pending on my phone that I need to reply, and I push them into it. I have that kind of energy that can push you off a cliff. You're starting on the cliff, you want to jump, you want to fly, but you just never would because you're scared you'll fall. And that kind of person will push you and you won't fall, you fly. But that goes to every other thing. Badness in a nation can turn out better. I want to be that person that influences that.
And guys, I will definitely leave Otto's information. I am so happy you came. If you really love this episode, I really would love, it would mean a lot if you share, you like, you comment, and then also, if there's any information or questions that you ask, Otto can answer those questions and we can follow up with another video. So feel free to ask any questions that you may have, especially when it comes down to the summit and even surrogacy, because I know some of you are really.
And look forward to all of those questions. We'll keep the conversation going. I know there's a lot of stories of stuff that we didn't conclude, we didn't wrap up on. There will be. There will be. That's what I say. Whatever question they ask, maybe what we'll do, like people are inquisitive to, ask certain questions that will require another session. Then we'll figure out how to
The
make
House
that
of
happen.
Lords.
Yeah. Probably in London or in Nigeria.
That
Or
would
when
be
next
cool.
I come to the United States.
That would be cool. If it's in London, we should do it at the House of Lords.
Yeah,
If it's in Nigeria, I would love to do it in the village or something.
No, that
would be so cool.
In the presidential villa.
It would be so fun, and then just seeing the people and the food and culture.
That's the plan. We plan to do something in Nigeria in the presidential villa, but we've not really put some flesh to that. But when that's done, you will be the first to know.
It's gonna be fun. Bye, guys. I'll see you next time. That was so